Class of 2020 seniors, someday in your future, you will sit down to tell stories to your own children. You'll reminisce about the 3-year legacy plan in which classrooms were repeatedly moved, hallways disappeared, bathrooms were shut down periodically, and learning during constant hammering and overbearing construction noises became the norm to try to focus through. Finally, you will describe how your final few months of high school took place in the middle of a global pandemic.
You will say how you were robbed of your last few months together, how you didn't get those senior memories everyone else got, and how your graduation that you had for so long envisioned was not going to happen the way you expected. Instead, people were forced to stay home, wear masks, endure virtual learning, and avoid all physical human interaction outside of your own 4 walls.
This is an accurate story. It is the story you could tell, but you could also tell your children this story, that in the year you graduated, people began looking out for each other. Travel became safer, the air became purer, and strangers were kind to each other. Teachers and students became more in touch with one another than ever before. Greta Thunberg, a 16-year-old with autism, saved the planet. Queensbury High School gained nicer facilities and technology equipment than most universities.
Our students that experienced the Legacy 2020 construction project became champions of maintaining focus during times of high pressure and distraction. They easily adapted to new situations and experiences for learning. And lastly, our education system became the most tech-savvy it has ever been. The value of a hug rose exponentially. Families spent more quality time together than they had in years. Communities rallied to support local businesses. Food donations were plentiful, and assistance for mental health was available on every social media platform that ever existed. You see, perspective is everything, especially now.
Growing up, I always liked the saying, everything happens for a reason. It helped to explain a bad grade, a breakup, not getting the job you wanted. But as I grew older, I realized that maybe not everything happens for a reason. There's no reason that kids get cancer, or anyone for that matter. There's no reason for hatred. And there's no reason that you guys had to graduate during a global pandemic and miss out on so many experiences and memories. But what phrase I have come to understand better is a quote from Rachel Hollis. I don't believe everything happens for a specific reason, but I do believe it's possible to find purpose, even in the absence of an explanation.
I'm sure this time was not ideal for most, but maybe you needed it to figure out what you wanted to do next. To focus on relationships in your life, to get healthy, to stop stressing about school and grades, to find your purpose. And if you found meaning and peace during this time, and you learned about yourself and discovered tools to use in moments of stress or loneliness or frustration, then you are way ahead of the game and are much more prepared to take on the next chapter of your life than any of us were at 18 years old.
Lastly, and perhaps most importantly, the class of 2020 will be recognized as the strongest, bravest, and most resilient class to ever graduate from Queensbury High School. You were born in the wake of 9/11, most likely having parents or family members that were deployed and affected by another event that impacted the lives of so many. You have proven to succeed through any obstacle that has been thrown your way, and went on to change our world in the best, brightest, most innovative ways. You have the power to become the most influential and impactful generation that the world has ever seen.
Maya Angelou stated, "I can be changed by what happens to me, but I refuse to be reduced by it." In my mind, that is the defining slogan for the class of 2020, and we are so incredibly proud of you. Congratulations.